Call this meeting to order. If you would, please, I call the meeting to order. If you would, let's bow our heads to the invocation. Heavenly Father, let our deliberations and the actions that we take be acceptable in your sight. Amen. Stand and pledge allegiance to the flag of our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the agenda is before you. Are there any modifications to the agenda?
No, sir.
Hearing none, I entertain a motion that we approve the agenda as printed.
So moved.
Motion is
Make a
made
motion.
by Mr. Ramey, seconded by Ms. Leggett to approve the printed agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, our work is cut out for us. Mr. Attorney, we're going to put you up first, reading of the ordinance for the event permit authorizing catered events with licensed off-premises alcohol sales. This, for those of you that may not be familiar with it, is the beer and wine, what is it called, Bernice, that, the festival that's coming up.
South Georgia Food and Wine Festival.
Thank you. Who said? Well, thank you, Landon. Thank you, sir. All right. So this is the ordinance for that. Mr. Attorney, you're on.
Just as background, we passed resolutions for that, and after further thought, is my opinion, we actually need to do an ordinance, and we had a first reading, and it fell off the radar. We didn't do the second reading, so we're starting over with the first reading again tonight, and we'll do the second reading in June. This is ordinance for event permit for authorized catered events with licensed off-premise alcohol sales. Whereas the City of Hazlehurst is authorized to allow the sale of alcoholic beverages by the drink is authorized by a catered function permit pursuant to OCGA 311-1. Whereas the city has need of establishing requirements to authorizing of a catered function and for a permit for an authorized catered function, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hazlehurst that a catered function wherein alcoholic beverages will be sold by the drink off the premises of a licensed alcoholic beverage retailer shall be an authorized catered function only if the City of Hazlehurst has issued an event permit for such catered function. Order further that an event permit for an authorized catered function may be issued to a legally qualified applicant who submits a completed application provided by the city for such permit, providing at the minimum the name of the applicant, the name of the event, the purpose of the event, the address of the event, the date and time of the event, the estimated number of vendors for such event, and a list of services, if any, requested that the city provide for such event. No person or legal entity shall conduct a catered function open to the public whereat alcoholic beverages sold by the drink off the licensee's premises unless such a catered function is an authorized catered function conducted pursuant to an event permit for an authorized catered function. Ordaining further that the City of Hazlehurst shall charge a fee of $50 or such other amount as the council might legally be authorized to set from time to time for the issuance of an event permit for an authorized catered function. And it shall also levy any local excise tax on the total quantity of alcoholic beverages brought to the city by or on behalf of an applicant for an event permit. Ordaining further that the sponsor of an authorized catered function shall be responsible for reimbursing the city within 30 days for any expenses incurred by the city in providing requested services by the applicant for such event. Ordaining further that the sponsor of an authorized catered function shall be responsible for assuring that all vendors participating in the authorized catered function comply with all the laws, rules, and regulations of the state of Georgia governing such vendors' sales or services provided at the authorized catered function, as well as any other applicable state laws and ordinances of the City of Hazlehurst. Order further that any person or legal entity found in violation of any part of this ordinance shall be subject to a fine of not more than $1,000 and incarceration for more than 6 days in jail for each such violation. That's the first reading of that ordinance. Second reading will take place in the June meeting.
Next month. Okay, now the next ordinance, that one was, as I understand it, and you can correct me if I've got this wrong, that one authorizes the sale of, say, wine, as a gift, in a gift box or whatever. Now, the one that he's getting into now actually authorizes them on the site to sale of alcohol by the drink.
An ordinance authorizing event permits for the sale of alcoholic beverages by the drink for consumption off the licensed premises by a licensed alcoholic beverage caterer and the licenses of alcoholic beverage caterers. Whereas under OCGA Section 3-11-186, the City of Hazlehurst is authorized to allow the sale of alcoholic beverages by the drink for consumption off the licensed premises and authorized caterer functions, and also to license alcoholic beverage caterers, and whereas the city has need of establishing requirements for the authorization of a caterer function and for a permit for an authorized caterer function and for issuing license for alcoholic beverage caterers, and whereas the city is authorized, now therefore be it ordained by the city council of the city of Hazlehurst that an ordinance authorizing the sale of alcoholic beverages by the drink for the consumption off licensed premise by a licensed alcoholic beverage caterer as follows. Section 1 is definition, Section 2 is event permit for authorized caterer function, Section 3 is obligations of event permittee, Section 4 is alcoholic beverage caterer license, Section 5 is violations of punishment. And this will be read in summary again at the June meeting.
Okay, is that completed? Okay, we will read these, a second time in June, and at that time, they'll approve them, and we'll affix the city seal and do what we need to do with it. Now, the next is actually giving, Landon, who's, I guess Andrea started this, or you folks sort of taking the, or you and Sonia, or?
Through the Chamber of Commerce, yes, sir.
Okay, the Chamber of Commerce, Sonia, you're doing it through the Chamber, right?
Yes,
You're
we received a $5,000 grant to host the event, and, we have an events committee, and Landon is chairman of that events committee, so he'll be speaking on behalf of the chamber.
All right, what this third item of council that we're doing here is voting to approve this event, to officially to approve this event September the 24th and 25th this year. So they got some months yet to get it together. But so I entertain a motion that we approve the event, the South Georgia Food and Wine Festival, September the 24th and 25th of this year.
I make the motion.
Motion made by Mr. Bloodworth
I'll second.
and seconded by Ms. Leggett. Now, is any further discussion about this? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposition. The event is hereby approved. Okay? Now then, this is getting back to city construction and CDBG project, the new project that we're getting putting together now to submit for a community development block grant in the amount of $750,000. And we've been notified we got RDC, Rural Development Commission, as the grant administrator for this. And they've told us that we needed to approve that the grant writer shall be the Heart of Georgia Regional Commission.
You have a resolution to read.
Pardon?
A resolution.
Have you got the resolution ready?
Attorney Smith has it.
Okay, all right, good enough. All right, now, Mr. Attorney, if you'll read that, we'll,
Resolution to apply for fiscal year 2021 Community Development Block Grant. Whereas the city of Hazlehurst considers the provision and maintenance of sewage necessary to the health and general welfare of its citizens, whereas the city of Hazlehurst has agreed to pursue a fiscal year 2021 Community Development Block Grant from the Georgia Department of Community Affairs in the amount of up to $750,000 to be used to assist funding costs associated with the streets and drainage improvements, whereas the city is willing to cover the cost of the required cash match as well as any cost over the grant and required cash match amount associated with the completion of the project, and whereas the project will develop and improve the standard of living within the city of Hazlehurst, and whereas the project will benefit primarily low to moderate income residents of the city of Hazlehurst, whereas such improvements will be for the public good and welfare, and whereas the project will promote the general welfare of the state of Georgia, and whereas the direct object of any city financing of the project is to accomplish said purposes, now therefore be it resolved that the city of Hazlehurst hereby approves the submission of an application to the Department of Community Affairs for the fiscal year 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program to fund street and drainage improvements, and the city commits to cover the cost of the required cash match as well as any cost over the grant and required cash match amount associated with the completion of the project.
okay, council, you've heard the resolution. I entertain a motion that we approve the resolution.
This doesn't have to be read again as a resolution?
There's a resolution.
Okay, yes, it's all right.
It's just ready tonight for us to approve it. In fact, we need to vote on it tonight. This is, of course, I entertain a motion that the, resolution, designating the, Heart of Georgia Regional Commission as the grant writer for this project, entertain that motion.
So moved.
Mr. Ramey's made the motion that we approve the Georgia Regional Commission as the commission, the grant for this project. Is there a second?
I second.
Ms. Leggett, second. Any further discussion about this grant? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, RDC is the grant administrator for this. All right, now the next one is pertaining to the engineer for the job. You got that one, Eddie?
Don't have a resolution on that. I think y'all just voted.
You have-
Determine that.
Here, we just voted
According-
on that.
You just vote on it.
Yeah, you have the statement of qualification scoring that was done through Heart of Georgia on the packets that came in. They came in sealed, Heart of Georgia reviewed them, and their recommendation is turnip seed.
Okay, so, according to what, Ms. Bernice just explained, and they, in my conversation with them, is that we have to vote and approve Turnip Seed as the engineer for this CDBG project.
I moved that we approve the, engineer as Turnip Seed for the CDBG, project.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Leggett has seconded the motion. Any further discussion about it? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, so done. All right. I believe that, the, water department today is working on their budget and, has this item number 7, which is the hydrant maintenance thing that, Chief Wasden did a good job of explaining to us, Monday night in the work session, has been put into the water department's, water department's budget, but I entertain a motion that we approve entering into this contract in the amount of about $15,000 for this maintenance contract.
So moved.
Mr. Ramey's made a motion that we approve the hydrant maintenance contract, explained by Chief Wasden Monday night. Is there a second?
I second.
Ms. Leggett has seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, the motion carried. Also, Mr. Hall, Mr. Opie has, I believe it was today, that he finally got the final results on the watershed assessment monitoring process that we have to do every year. It's been costing us anywhere from, I don't know, $20,000 to $30,000. And somehow or other, he and I guess the feeling sorry for us, we got it down to about $13,000, that's $13,500. And we've also put that in the water and sewer budget, but we also need to, make a motion that we, authorize, what's the name of the company,
Is a engineer, private engineer.
private engineering firm, in the amount of, $13,500 to complete our watershed, requirements for this year. I entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Mr. Ramey's made the motion that we approve the watershed assessment, completion at the amount of $13,500. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bloodworth. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for vote. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, the motion carries. All right. Mr. Bloodworth, I know you want to get some results on item 9. I'll turn that over to you.
Yes, sir, please, thank you. Kelly Street, measured, 1,505 feet in length, 22 feet wide, and Gill Street, 461 feet, starting at First Avenue to the fence, and the width is, 40 feet, and that's not on their private property, counting their parking.
Okay, were you able to get a cost estimate?
I've not got a cost estimate yet.
Okay, I think probably to be fair with Mr. Bloodworth in doing this, I think that we need to, we've got the money for the local maintenance and improvement grant is designated, I think we need to, Bloodworth, you can make this as form of a motion that the, Rogers, Kelly Street and Gill Street projects be added in our next paving contract.
I'll make a motion that the Kelly Street and Rogers Street and Gill Street be added into the next paving contract. Do we know when that might occur? Will
Where
be
we
ready to go?
I'd say within 30 days probably, I would think so. And we'll have to let bids, advertise for bids and get that taken care of, but it won't take long.
Question upon that too, that I've seen some things where it looked like bids or assessment has already been done on the streets that I've seen. They already have a dollar amount that's been allocated, for each of these streets. Of course, Kelly and Gill are new ones that we would just have to get, an appropriation in that with it. But, it looks to me like, we've already got some money there and, we should be able to take action on this.
I would like as immediate action as we can possibly get.
So that you understand, DOT gets involved in the local maintenance improvement grant. You have to approve, they have to get involved with, that's where you've got prices and things on them, because they have to get approved. And if you look at the information that, Ms. Bernice gave you, it's got where DOT sent it back for our signatures, and you got that letter there, on the LeMig.
No, sir.
Okay, that's all right. It's all in that file with that information.
So you're saying within 30 days of us approving this, we can possibly get started
I don't
paving
know,
those
I said,
streets?
I feel like it can be done in 30 days, but then if you get the bids advertised and just like now with the,
Where are the two streets gonna fall at on this list? That's already been prepared because
right
they were
behind
all,
LeMig, be the first one on the list.
they were already supposed to have been on here. So it'd be where now?
Be right behind the LeMig. Local maintenance and improvement.
I understand what that is.
Yeah, well, some of the folks out there may not use an acronym. All right, we got a motion, and, did we get a second on, I'm sure, I don't think we did.
Second.
Motion made and seconded that we, put, top priority on, Rogers, Kelly, and Gill Street for Mr. Bloodworth, and it's been made and seconded. Any further discussion about it? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, your motion is carried, Mr. Bloodworth.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Mr. Ramey, I believe you're wanting to spend some of the coronavirus money that we haven't got yet.
Remember at the Monday meeting, that was one of the things that I'd asked for all of us as council to put some thought into the effect that we do have this American Relief money. That we have several of the cities and other areas like the Board of Education that have used monies of this order already, where we have not. And one I knew best was that of the Board of Education. They gave their employees $1,500 to that. Now theirs, they gave it, and it was gross. My motion is not gonna be for gross, it's gonna be for net. The amount that it would take us to be able to do this particular thing, about to wear my little notes out, amount it would take would be $95,831.34.
Okay, you want to...
Therefore, I move for all employees hired prior to March the 1st, to be given a net of $1,500 from our relief fund.
Is there a second to Mr. Ramey's motion? I'll second it. All right, any further discussion?
No, sir.
All right, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
It was 95 what? That's what I was trying to figure out in my head when you called it.
A total of, out of the relief fund, would be $95,831.34 would allow for a net to every employee of $1,500.
That was hired prior to March 1st
That was hired prior to March 1st, which is the
of
COVID,
this year.
yeah, COVID timing of 21.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Vote's carried. Mr. Ramey, you've got your wishes there, sir. All right, you've looked at the report to council, the, review of the water and sewer adjustments and the check register. I entertain a motion that, that's items 11, 12, and 13, which is normal housekeeping, bills and whatnot. Entertain a motion that we approve those.
So moved.
Mr. Ramey's made a motion, we approve those three. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bloodworthy. Any further discussion about it? Hearing none, I call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, those items, housekeeping items have been approved. Okay, citizens' comments. Okay, hearing none.
Nobody?
Mayor and Commissioner, Rhonda's real happy tonight. Mayor and Commissioner comments?
I'm not a mayor or a commissioner, but I've got something that y'all need to do is, you remember back with the alleyways, in Henson Street and all of that, well, I met with Rory, and we ironed out the final details, and I've got a contract here, agreement that resolves all that, where the city will give up claim to the alleys to the adjoining property owners. The city will put in the sewer line and the water lines and the drain storage storm line and repair any concrete, anything that's messed up during that. And then that becomes their responsibility to tie in, and their responsibility to maintain the cities out of the alley business and the sewer business in the alleys. And this is a contract that sets all that out. Y'all have already approved it, just for information purposes, the mayor will be signing this and.
All right, but I still want to bring it back in the minutes tonight. I want, I will entertain a motion that the council authorized me to enter into the signing of a fixed by my name, for the city on this contract.
I would make that motion, but I was a little confused because I thought it was already approved for you to do
Well,
that.
but he wouldn't have all the details. He's
Well,
got it
he
all.
was supposed to get the details of the
Yeah, well, there
contract,
it
and
is.
then it was approved for you to do it.
Just sign it.
Yes.
Sign it.
All right, well, then somebody make the motion that.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right, any further discussion about it? Hearing none, all in favor of me signing the contracts, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It will so be done. Thank you, sir.
Give me a copy of that once.
Yes,
Let's start signing.
yes, sir.
Okay, council, y'all, got anything on, to the point of, mayor and commissioner comments?
I think I'd like to thank all fellow council members for helping to approve that stipend to our employees. I think they deserve it, and we've been a little bit behind all the other cities around and make sure we get this thing done.
Okay, I've got an item that I want to bring before us that came up today. It's been working for a day or two, but we finally got it, everything tentatively worked out, pending your approval, the council's approval. The old Jeff Davis broadcasting system owned by John Hewlett and with the railroad, with the radio station out Fort Graham out there. That thing has been in demise, and you're as familiar as I am with what all's happened to the radio station. But the owners of they still have an ownership, and just like Jim Sewell does all of our ball games and a lot of other things. But at any rate, this radio station, the executives of the station have come to us, they want to move, have an active radio studio in Hazelhurst, and have it where communities, churches, school events, and all can come into the studio and be a live process in there. I think I asked her, and I don't remember exactly what she told me, but I think it'll go to about midnight, and then it'll go on automatic overnight, and then start back over in the morning, something of that nature.
It was on loop.
And,
24 hours.
Yeah.
It said 24 hours.
24, but studio won't be open for.
The studio won't be open, but it'll go on a loop where it'll be playing new songs.
I was hoping when she called and asked for an appointment to talk about renting the building, I was looking forward to some more cash to help us with our operation around here, but this is what she's proposed. and I'm gonna ask y'all, here's what she says. Broadcast South will trade rent of the building for these programs. Jeff Davis football, $2,000. Jeff Davis football playoffs of $1,000. Jeff Davis baseball, $2,000. Baseball playoffs, $1,500. Holiday, graduation, and so forth, and salutes to the various students and whatnot, $500. Lively weekly interviews with the council and others, and we'll cover all city news as priority. And these things, these numbers that she just, I've just listed for you, amount to $12,000, would trade out rent for the building for $1,000 each month for 1 year. At the end of the year, if they're making money and it's become profitable, we will renegotiate any rent and whatnot. But what it amounts to is we're letting them go in and set up the studio and put their equipment and everything in that building and set up and operate live there for 12 months. And for the services they render to the community to pay for the rent for the first year. I entertain a motion that we approve this arrangement.
So moved.
Mr. Ramey's made a motion that we approve this arrangement. Is there a second? I'll second it.
I'll second.
And you'll third it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion about it?
Anything?
Okay, hearing no discussion, I entertain, ask a vote, on the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, Mr. Attorney, if you'll take this and draw us up a contract with those folks for 1 year for those services in exchange. Oh yeah, by the way, I explained to her completely that we will not be down there changing light bulbs and fixing things if they got any problem at all, that they're to cover
All maintenance
all
and repairs.
maintenance and repairs. I did tell them there's one little water
What
pipe.
building?
The old,
The old chamber.
Chamber of Commerce building across from Goodrich.
Wanda was asking.
I did commit us, Chris, to try to do something about that hot water situation. I think we can do that overhead and not have to worry about all that other in there. So they've got a little something that, Chris and I are gonna work out for them, but I think other than that, the building is theirs, if, whatever it's to be maintained, and it's, when the end of the year, it should be in the same condition that they found it. You'll get that done for us for the next meeting, or, let's see, you've approved it, right? If the attorney, gets it drawn up, y'all authorize me to go ahead and sign the contract?
Yes, it's approved.
Okay, all right, so if you'll get that ready, we'll let them start moving in. I think she wants to go ahead and start setting that thing up. Okay, I entertain a motion that we, go home.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Bloodworth made a motion to go home, second by Ms. Legg, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Make it time.
Wouldn't be 9 minutes. You guys, you wouldn't even need it.
Well, it's determined.